Again, thank you for sharing from your side of the story, from your side of the shield. My initial heart or desire was there could be folks in this room that are operating in certain signs of a domestic abuser or what have you. I know when my wife and I got married, well, I was scared of her, but we used to bust walls. We really did. I mean, we finally grew out of that, but we didn't. But tell us how you ended up there. What took you to that place where you ended up in jail, if you don't mind sharing?
Well, for me, first of all, I didn't really realize that I had an issue until way after I had the issue. Me and my wife, we got together young. I was 21. She was 20. And so when everything happened, when I got arrested in 2014, I dealt with a lot of things that stopped me from being accountable. I dealt with a lot of denying it, minimizing it, justifying it, because it's one thing to deal with it privately, but dealing with it through the media, it was just like, so all I'm doing is trying to, talking about what I didn't do and what's not right about the report. But when I was able to go through the program and I was able to go through some counseling, I understood the one thing that really helped me was first the awareness, to know that it's not just about physical violence, it's not just about sexual violence, but that I had years of issues of just dealing with, being emotionally abusive and psychologically abusive, and that domestic violence wasn't about, like she shared, wasn't about anger. I thought I had got arrested because I just got angry. I just lost control about a situation, and that's why I was there, but it wasn't. It really was the power and control thing. And so, I had been using different ways of trying to control my spouse, through intimidation and emotional abuse and the things that I would say whenever I felt like I didn't have control, or if I felt like I wasn't the man of the house, or I wasn't being treated with the respect that I thought I had deserved. And even in church, using words like submission, and submission doesn't mean control. It's like being taught even in church, the woman is supposed to submit to the man. Basically, the man is the king of the castle, which is not what that means. And so for me, it was the pattern that grew into what happened in 2014. And there had been other instances, where I had, grabbed my wife, or I had, really gotten in her and intimidated her and made her feel like, if I felt like I wasn't in control, I would say things or do things to get that control back. And so for me, realizing that, man, I had a bigger problem than I thought I did, and that physical violence, it doesn't usually start there. It starts all these other things that happen, and then when those things stop working, it's like, okay, now I gotta escalate it, because I gotta get that control back. So if I'm raising my voice or saying things to her is not working anymore, or giving her the silent treatment, or if that stuff's not working, then I gotta do something to get that control back, and that's when it got physical. So I had to go back and look at all that happened. Even as a child, I started out playing drums at 5 years old at my dad's church. I can remember at 5, if I wasn't, this is in church, if I wasn't playing right, while the song was still going on, I would get taken out right outside the church, get a whooping, with a switch, whatever, get back on the drums crying. So I was being taught that when you don't do something right, violence is how you control, how you get people back. This is what happens when you don't do what you're supposed to do at an early age. So I had to really go back into my life and look at where it all started from, what was happening, and really understand it, so that I can get the help that I needed, so that I wouldn't just be in there because the judge made me go, but I could really I told my therapist when I was first going, because once I begin to become be aware of it and learn to start taking accountability for it, I said, I don't just want to be here just, I got to do this because I'm just trying to get off probation earlier. I said, I really want to understand, because this is really an issue for me, and it's an issue for so many men, and I was able to confront it, and I just thank God that through the process I've been able to talk to other men and help, and I'm still, myself. But one of the things the hardest thing for me to admit in class was that because I've been violent in the past, I could be violent again. So I never even I'm good, I'll never, because that's not the reality. The reality of it is I have to make sure that I'm always checking my triggers and the red flags and things that may be taking me back to that place that I don't ever want to go to again.
I appreciate you saying that. That's we come to this point sometimes where we feel like we've arrived, where we feel like we've got our stuff together, and at that point, that is the most dangerous place that we could be in.